We're back in Ravenfield showing off the Steelfront mod. And I've got a question. Well, first let's find a pretty good spot to call this in. Oh my god, this is what 200 bots on each team looks like. This battle needs something big enough to do it justice. I just spawned it on top of me, and you can't really see anything because I'm under this behemoth. But you have a sense of its magnificent and huge scale. This is the Mac, which I assume is for, like, Mobile Attack Command Center. And you see that giant mech lift over there? Yeah, we're showing off Steelfront, which, by the way, please wishlist it on Steam, because we're gonna have it available for a playable demo in Steam Next Fest in October, so just a few short weeks away. And I can't wait for you guys to get your hands on it. So I appreciate the support in wishlisting the game. And so let me show you how this thing works. So our mobile command center, it's massive, right? Well, one thing that we've got to do is we've got to deploy this. Because right now you can see my command center. Well, my driver's seat. It's pretty, excuse me. Someone just hit me with a missile. That's rude. That's uncalled for. Please stop it. Now, while this thing's big, we're gonna move it a little bit forward. Oh, physics. We broke it. We broke physics. We are now flying. Well, this is exactly where we wanted to be. So let's go ahead and deploy the base, because then we can do some pretty cool stuff. Now, if I leave the driver's seat right now, I gain access to this terminal, and I can choose any number of these men and vehicle systems to spawn in. So let's go ahead and check out our infantry options. Deploy rifle infantry squad. Yeah, we're gonna do that, and then you're gonna see them spawn in right down there. Now, if I go back to the door, I should be able to see the troops that I just popped out. Now, if I want to undeploy, like deploy, undeploy, unemploy, I'm gonna just call it packing in the base. Then that would allow us to go back into tank mode. Although, I think this thing is so big, people can lock onto it from literally across the map. We've lost 4% of our health due to these scattered, like, anti-tank missiles that the enemy forces firing at us, and we're pretty far away. Like, you can see them being launched at us. It's kind of funny when you're trying to do a dynamic flank with, like, this thing. So I'm gonna deploy again and hope that we don't break the physics of the world because of how big this thing is. And then I'm gonna go ahead and deploy a recon team. Stand by, staging bay occupied. And there they are. And then once they leave, I can deploy a motor assault squad. And let's go ahead and just see them sort of like drive out. Now, one of the squads is having a little bit of an issue getting out the mouth of this beast. But there, they did it. And I guess I could, like, tell them what we want to do. So I want to attack this command point, right? And take it for the good guys, for us. So let's go ahead and go to armor, because these two are vehicles, yes, but they're technically under infantry because they're mechanized infantry. So if we wanted to call in a mechanized infantry squad, or an Ironside main battle tank, or a mech, which, by the way, that's sort of like the big Mac daddy of Steelfront are the mechs. And that thing just walked out easily. And I just realized we messed up. We made it so the battle was gonna end real fast. There's gonna be no enemies to shoot. Now what I wanna do is, since we've got that open bay on the top, I wanna see if we've got some air vehicles that we can spawn in, because of course we do. Now that was just a plain old helicopter. So what would happen if you had a literal land battleship that wasn't a true battleship per se, but more of a land aircraft carrier? And land troop carrier and land vehicle carrier? Like, look at that. Look at that big old mech transport aircraft over there. I love the scale of the weapon systems that are in Steelfront. That's sort of like what we're really looking for, is seeing everyone just like go absolutely nuts with the sheer size and scale of the weapons that we're putting in. Which, by the way, if you have some more, like, ideas as far as like what vehicles you'd want to see in the game, like, we're going for like just sandbox epic giant battles. Like, we're using dots, so if you know what that is, that means we're gonna have battles with massive scale in terms of like quantity of troops, and obviously we're going for quality as well. So that is a like sort of like what would be the contemporary Chinook style aircraft. Deploy the mech paradrop. All right, this I want to see. So that thing just spawned right out of us. And let's go ahead and pack this thing up. So we've basically just like skewed the battle in our favor, because we sort of went like command and conquer with a mobile construction base. MCV, mobile construction vehicle. But obviously since this is the MACC, we're gonna call it the Mag Daddy because this thing can win a war in and of itself. Namely because there's no resource limitations to what you can spawn in. It may be able to win a war by itself, but oops. Help me, I need some help. I just had a terrible, amazing, horribly, stupidly smart idea. Let me show you. I'm sure some of you might be having a decent idea about what's about to happen. What is this? I think that's the mech carrier. I have no idea what that is or why that's there. It's the Mac. What are you doing here, Mr. Mac? Okay, well, while the battle is raging over there, and we've got tons of troops just hanging out by the command tower of the aircraft carrier, I'm gonna use this carrier deck to spawn in the Mac. So we go down here to Mac, spawn in the vehicle using the vehicle mutator mod. And this is the scale of it right now. All right, now I want to see what happens if I drive this thing right off the aircraft carrier. Does it float? Does it sink? I can deploy it right now, which is hilarious. So this is like that scene in Austin Powers where they're just driving the steamroller in slow motion. Oh my gosh. Okay. And oh my gosh. No way. There's just no way that's happening. Okay, once we get there, we can use the grid or the tank tracks to tip this thing over and dive us over. Am I swimming or am I in the vehicle? Huh. Now, I do have a shortcut here. Okay, yeah, I can't get in the command deck. Oops, and I'm deploying it? Let's try this from the other side. All right, first thing is I need a vehicle. Oh, you? Sir? This helicopter is commandeered by an officer. You can't take it, it's mine. By the way, look at those twin rotors, like perfectly synchronized so they don't hit each other. Yeah, the rule of cool runs Steelfront. This is like straight out of the minds of, well, to be put it frankly, 3 of the best modders there are. Nope, you're not allowed to lock onto me. I am a special protagonist, and I have a story to tell, dang it. I see the missile coming in. Once it gets a little bit closer, we'll pop. Sucker! Oh, you know what I just realized? The enemy loves to attack this place early. Do you see any little landing craft? No, I don't. So unless they're submersible, I'm below the, not necessarily below the horizon. Oh, you know what I just realized is this may be bad to land it right here because what I want to spawn in is massive and there's a lot of contour on these islands. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to work. So right now, what we need is a big flat map with enough interesting stuff around it in order to have just a true epic scale battle with the Mac. I should be able to swim over here, get to this little beach, and spawn it in. Look at that giant airship coming in. Yeah, this should be fine, right? There's truly nothing can go wrong. Something went wrong. Only one team has access to it, so we actually have to switch the teams. And on second thought, I don't think that area of the map is going to be a good spot to put it in. Now remember, this is just like a weapons test. If it sinks, we'll just spawn in another one over here and drive it somewhere. Or, I don't know. It's a big beastie, and it doesn't play well with terrain. Surely this is going to work, right? There's no way this messes up. There you are, Mac. Oh, no. Yeah. It's coming down. This thing has the grace of a ballerina. Oh gosh, please don't crush me. I am your commanding officer. I was saved by these. What happens if I get in it? Okay. Since we don't have any traditional planes, conventional planes or bomber aircraft, they're basically all VTOL helicopter style. We should be able to just beep and magic button. So I spawned myself literally on top of like half my squad. Now we're gonna follow the runway and try to drive this off and into the water and turn something that should never be a submarine into a submarine. Because if it does, I just have a hilarious idea. It'll just take us 5 years to get there.
3 weeks later.
The Mac Daddy is entering water testing phase. Now as long as the command tower is above the water, oh my gosh, this is working. Guys, I need to arm this thing with cannons because I've made a land battleship for the water. All right, let's try deploying. Now, this is going to be interesting because there should be water. Yes, there's water. All right. Oh, this is funny. So if we did have Let's see what's in the support category. HE and smoke. Artillery strike. Oh, whoa. So this mod was made by Sofa. 20 rounds, 155 HE splash, and 5. Look at my kill feed. It's at 0. Now you can see the explosions happening on the carrier deck. I'm not getting credit for any kills, but you can see lots of little red splatters. Yeah, that's not good if you're those guys. But we're not those guys. We're the guys fighting those guys. So this is actually good. Okay. Well, that's awesome. Now let's go to aircraft and spawn in. We're making ourselves an aircraft carrier. All right, let's pack this baby up and go fight. Oh my gosh, someone spawned one in, or there's 2 in the center base. We need to mess with the config, I think, but or you could just think about it this way. You're watching an episode of, like, you know, Planet Earth, and they're trying to replicate, but that's not how we replicate and make more machinery. Wait a minute. That is working. They are replicating. That's 4 of them stacked on each other right now. But if we look over here, it's working perfectly as intended. All right, so checking the map. Oh my gosh. This might break the server, because look at that. Might break the server. We're not on a server. This might break the game session. Oh, okay. I think with this mod, with the power of the vehicles being mostly ground-based, the enemy forces are unable to make any beachheads, any headway on, well, I want to call it the mainland, but technically just the archipelago of islands. I just took a screenshot. I'm going to send this to my mom. So she's like, what are you doing with your life? My first thought is we need to modify these things with, like, attack weapons and use them as, like, beach landings, and then make, like, some kind of an amphibious variant. I mean, it's obviously amphibious, but that's just because it's shallow water. Look at this thing, man. It's perfectly 50-50, I think. I mean, maybe a little bit more on the top. Guys, it's getting worse. That is hilarious. They just keep spawning in. You're not supposed to play Archipelago with this thing, but I am. This is one of those moments where I wish this was multiplayer and people could be, like, on the decks with, like, mounted machine guns. Where are those shots coming from? As we, like, slowly crawl towards the enemy aircraft carrier. Now, this is going to be spicy because as soon as we get up close and spawn in a helicopter, because obviously I'm challenging that aircraft carrier with my aircraft carrier. Okay, we're really, really close. The Max will inherit the Earth. Okay, let's deploy. Now, what happens if we deploy infantry? They should just swim out, right? I mean, it stands to reason. I'm gonna do it. We're getting some lag, but not a terrible amount of lag. All right, boys. Good luck. You all are special, aren't you? Where are they swimming to? You guys are supposed to take the aircraft carrier. There's just, like, tons of artillery coming forward now. So I'm trying to get them to attack. They're just swimming out into no man's land, though. All right, we're under attack, so we're gonna need some air support. Yeah. All right, let's spawn in, like, a bunch. And yeah. We knew that was gonna happen. Everyone's dead. We're just gonna cover this up. There's another Mac in front of me. I think when Sofa sees this, he's not gonna be too happy, but I'm perfectly enjoying just the absolute chaos. We landed it. This thing did a somersault and landed on the aircraft carrier. There's just no way that's real. It is real. Uh-oh. Yeah, we're gonna deploy. Oh no, guys, I got bad news. What is that? Oh, it's a mech underwater. That's terrifying. Oh, please don't take off without me. They always take off without me. They try. Haha. All right, we're gonna fly over here. Now, look at this one. This one's got twin rotors, but, like, in a different way. LGMs, unguided rockets. These things are just beasts. Oh gosh. All right, we're gonna pop flak as, like, all the anti-aircraft missiles fly in this way. And we're gonna casually land this thing. Oh, please don't hit me. We need to look down. Oh, goodness. This is what it looks like to be in one that's flying. We have made a land battleship into a water one and now into an air one. For a brief moment, anyway. You know, I don't think this airfield, like, meets the specifications for launching a Steelfront invasion style force. The hangars don't need to be here because they're just too small, even despite how big they look. Okay, we're trying it again. Please, Mac, don't break. Now, this is weird. Look right ahead of me in the water. There are tons of troops just swimming like a school of fish. I don't know what their plan is or why they're doing this, because they could easily just take that bridge. And they're not like Navy SEALs or Marines or anything. They're just regular infantry. All right, we're getting close enough to where like there's an amphibious armored personnel carrier just shooting at us with its 30mm HE gun. It's right there off the port bow. Okay, starting to get hit by the infantry on the carrier deck's anti-vehicle weaponry. But I mean, you know, when you're this big, it's not gonna do a whole lot of damage unless they can hit a critical part. Look at that, that thing just exploded. All right, let's deploy this thing right here. Now, they could, in theory, like, start shooting explosives in, and, you know, in a real world, that would hurt. But now, we can't spawn them all in at the same time, but we can spawn them in slowly one after the other. So we're getting air support now. Oh, gosh, that hurts. We need air support. He's dropping flak. He just dodged some missiles. He's smoking between the rotors. Ooh. Okay. I don't know how many troops were on that transport. Doesn't look like a lot, actually. Okay. Well, let's get a gunship. All right, launch the gunship. Who's going to win the carrier battle? Hint, it's probably the guy with infinite vehicles to spawn in. All right, we're going to get another one. Ooh, that one's already shot down. Okay, let's get another one. See, right here, the game would be really cool if you could have, like, resource limitations on how many vehicles you'd spawn in. Maybe it'd be like Dune, where like this thing would have to go out and acquire like resources or something. I don't know. In many ways, I almost feel like there's just so much. This reminds me so much of like Command and Conquer. All right, so we'll spawn in another one. Now what's cool is I should be able to take command. If I hit control on the terminal. What? I'm sorry, but what just happened? Okay, this is cool. Boom. I've got a magic button that keeps me in the battle. Oh, snap. Look, they got a mech lander on their ship right now. Speaking of which, all right, I just spawned that in. Now, I am the mech lander. So what we're going to do, like last time we had to fly this thing really, really close after not being able to assault the carrier. This time, I'm going to try to drop like right in front of them. All right. We dropped down from the mechs, and I've got some assistants here to join me. And I've got some miniguns. Is this not the coolest way to ever take over the aircraft carrier in Ravenfield? The answer is no. There's not a cooler way to do this. Just mind the crashing helicopters from above. All right, so now we gotta like land in there, right? So this is gonna be awkward. Uh-oh, we're reloading the miniguns. I need rounds. This reminds me of the scene in The Matrix when the mech needs to get reloaded by the little dude on like the little bike. Or he's got like a wheelbarrow of ammunition. And I can do this little like sitting stomp ability. Okay, but once again, I can do my magic button and I'm back in command of my land battleship. I think when Sofa made this, he was like, you know what? This is gonna be really cool to see this driving over the land. And my first thought was, I know exactly what to do with it. And here we are. Oh gosh, okay. I don't like that. Shoot that thing down. Let's get some infantry. We'll spawn in a squad of infantry and see what happens. All right, how are we doing? Oh, we shot it down. Now the enemy is pretty much like at nothing. All right, so I'm gonna take command. Deploy mech ship. There we go, control last spawned. Ooh, so that's kind of cool. I accidentally spawned in 2 of these bad boys, so hopefully one of them distracts the enemy. And then I'm just gonna I'm gonna do a high altitude, low opening, a halo jump, but in one of these mechs. So it's gonna get ridiculous. Now, as long as I don't miss the carrier, drop. Okay. Are we landing? We landed on the carrier. What's my kill feed? 40? Is there anyone even on the deck anymore? The enemy only has like 10 infantry left. And once they're down... 3, 2, where's the last ones? And, ladies and gentlemen, we have taken victory by using this beast. I don't know why there's all this smoke down there, but that's pretty cool. I guess it's because of the support. Let's fire some HE rounds on top. Yeah, this thing is smoky inside. And let's do some smoke. So this thing is, oh, that's so cool. The mech is inside this thing shooting outside. Now, if he could jump and get on top, and we could use it as we bombard this ship with high explosive rounds and pop smoke right in front of us. This just shows the potential and power of this beast of a land battleship, now a water battleship. So thanks for watching. Make sure to wishlist Steelfront on Steam. The link's gonna be in the description. And I can't wait for you guys to check it out and play it once it's available. But hey, while you wait, Steelfront mod for Ravenfield.